So I'm back with part two of this really an amazing topic that needs to be addressed. Now, this time I have numbers. This time I have numbers. If you are in the building and you are coming to the building, I appreciate if you like and you share and you subscribe to one of the dopest platforms on YouTube that's giving really good information for you and I, right? As we battle mental health illness severely that's going on all around the world, but we're going to just focus on in New York City. Mental illness is at an all-time high, right? And where, right, we're going to say 20 years ago, we're going to say 20 years ago, right? Where was mental health at? What was the percentage of the mental health? What was the percentage of mental health? If you also are in this building, I have a poll there. I want to gladly appreciate if you participate in the poll. If you think that mental health is at an all-time high, press yes, right? And you feel that it's not, press no. I would appreciate that. That would give me a sense of pride, a sense of joy to do my next topic, right? So I would appreciate that if you participate in that, right? Where was mental health 20 years ago? 20 years ago, where was mental health? In 2020, the the percentage of mental health in United States, right, was at 21%. It was at a 21%. That mental health is still high. 21% is still high. Some people may consider it that it's not high. After COVID, after COVID hit, right? It jumped up during COVID. No, after COVID, it jumped up 30%. Right? This is the percentage. This is what they said. You know these percentages and these numbers and these mathematics tells lies. Because we can look around in our communities and our society and ourselves and just all around and see our loved ones, our friends and family are on drugs and they have a mental health crisis and it's severely taken a lot of us down a dark path, mental health. Why I'm saying this is because in 2026, the percentage of mental health, they said that it dropped down. It's from 23%, anywhere from 23 to 26% that mental health has dropped dramatically, which we know in our community, in our society, this is lies, right? We know that mental health is at an all-time high because we see it on the trains, we see it on the buses, we see it in workplace, we see it in our communities dealing with this mental health. So, after COVID, and we all know and understand that COVID was a chemical, biological warfare upon the people, upon all of us, that we was hit with this COVID. And after this COVID, right, and the medicine and everything else, it activates something inside of us, inside of our brains, and everything else. It activates some chemicals which can physically, mentally, and spiritually discombobulate something that's in your mind. We know this. We know this to be true. We know this to be true in our community. While the rest of the world or the rest of the United States lies about these numbers. And the reason why you lie about these numbers because we are blaming you, the administrations, this administration, and administrations prior to this administration. We are blaming you for allowing this to happen inside of our communities, right? Inside of our society, where people are being affected. And we know that a great portion that's being affected by all of these things is inside our communities, right? Where able descendants dwell, right? And we all know and understand that this is our land and it been our land, that this land been taken, and a massacre of us been going on since the Alpha Omega, the creator and everything existing, created mankind, right? It always been a massacre. People want to see what this mean? The massacre. I don't say this word. It's supposed to be the indigenous descendants massacre from the beginning. So this is the proper understanding, right? Yes, a portion of us never had COVID. I had COVID. I had COVID, but the topic is not talking about COVID. It's talking about mental health. How the chemicals of the COVID that was spread because it was airborne. People said it wasn't, but it was airborne. So it affected chemicals, your biological chemical of your mindset, of your spirit, of your soul, of your physical body, right? After COVID, it went up. It was 30%. In 2020, mental health was at 21%. It was manageable, right? With medication, with therapy, with going to in and out programs, my outreach programs, there was hotlines and everything else for the mental health. It was manageable, but it still was high. We agreed to disagree. Now what we see in New York City and all around this country, mental health is at an all-time high. It's because what? Majority of it has to do with drugs. It has to do with the drugs. And these drugs and everything else is pouring into our community, especially in the marijuana, especially in the cannabis, this fake cannabis and everything else, which is leading our future and our children to being locked up, to being organ donors, to being dead and everything else because, crime is up, violence is up, mental health is up, everything is up during this administration and before this administration, right? Mental health is up, violence is up, and everything up as people want to lie about the numbers, about the percentage that's going on in our community. It plays a part of mental health because a lot of people don't know how to deal with mental health. There's really no help out there. There's help out there, but there's really not nobody out there putting the footwork in to dealing with the mental health. They're picking up the homeless. They're picking up people that's dealing with it, right? And I'm not going to put no shade on anybody that smoke marijuana. But if you smoking this and you are addicted to this, you are addicted to this marijuana. And I'm going to say, I'm going to let you know that it's synthetic, it's not even real. And I know people that have been smoking marijuana back in the 80s and 90s and the 70s. They said that this strain of marijuana is not even marijuana, it's synthetic. So it is sprayed with so many chemicals in these laboratories and spread it amongst our communities to affect our children and our loved ones. And this is why there's an all-time high of violence against police officers, against transit workers, against everybody, against ourselves, is because there is a chemical imbalance inside of this marijuana, inside of our communities, and everything else. So, I want to bring awareness to this because mental health is really important. The way the mental health now is out of control. Mental health always been a target that we look at. The way it is now, with the violence and the murder and death and kill people ending up in these plantations and jails, is out of control. I'm going to say, and I'm going to tell you, being that they gave their percentage, right? And we know that it's an increase of mental health in our communities, and there's no one to talk to, right? But on my platform, on a lot of other people's platform, we talk about mental health. We talk about things that affected our country, affecting our what? Our community, our societies, and our household. And I said, major these cannabis and everything else played a major part. They try to downsize and say that, oh no, after COVID, it went down 23 to 26% in 2026. We all know and understand. We actually see the robberies and the killings and the murders and everything else that's happening into our youth that's smoking and taking this marijuana, which is messing up their life. It's destroying their life. You understand what I'm saying? And I want them to know that I know it's hard and difficult to get off this synthetic marijuana, which is pounded in our communities. This is why they legalize it, because so they can make more of it. We all know and understand through research that this comes from China and all of these other places, which is being imported to destroy the future of our countries. And it starts with inside of our communities, able descendants, which is true. This is the year of the fish, y'all. This is the year of the fish. Recognize the fish. I want you to recognize the fish, pay homage to the fish, right? So that you can know and understand, so that you can define yourself. All of y'all that is watching, all of y'all that's sharing, all of y'all that's subscribing, and I really appreciate this. I gladly appreciate this. Trust and believe I do. Someone has to talk about this, because it's taking it's taking an effect on all of us. All of us has to deal with this. Normal people that has normal jobs, that's don't even deal with none of this stuff. We are being affected by this. Our children are being affected by it. They are getting felonies. They are getting misdemeanors. They are ended up in these plantations in jail because of the chemicals that's being spread of this marijuana, synthetic marijuana. But we know and understand that the biological chemical warfare will wage upon us inside our community. And the one that be hit hard is us over here. It's able descendants. And I want to put us on point about how important mental health and illness is. It's a chemical imbalance within inside our thoughts. Some are born with it and some not. And people have studied this in laboratories. What can affect your brain? What can affect your organs? What can affect each and everything? And they can create these chemicals inside laboratories to affect you, or to affect a whole nation, or to affect a whole civilization. And I want us to understand this from a spiritual point of view, that we have to deal with this. This administration is not focused on any of that. All of the money is being poured into an unnecessary war that's going on amongst us. We will get through, but look at the lives and people that is being sacrificed, right, for the greater good of other people mentalities and ways and actions. You understand that? A lot of people is being sacrificed. Killings and murders, robberies is up, rapes is up, being molested is up, drinking is up, drugs is up, crime is up, murder, everything is up, and it's everywhere. It's spreading because of the lack of security and the lack of empathy towards the next man. The hell with it. If 20 million people be affected by it, so be it. We got jails and everything else waiting for them. So I want people to understand that this is a war. We know that. It's a chemical war. It's a mental war. It's a spiritual war. It's a physical war. It's a drug war. It's all type of the wars that we focus on and look at. And we have to live in this by individuals making irresponsible irresponsible decisions based on your life and my life. This is why you shouldn't jack this way of life, because you got individuals dictating on you having motion and movement. And I want you to understand that, brothers and sisters, kings and queens, you know? And what I also want you to understand is that in my descriptions, there's part one. There's going to be part one. Part one was really, really good. I got cut short because I was outside and I don't know what happened, but in my description, there's going to be part one. So I want you to understand that we need to focus on mental health. Mental health is at an all-time high. It's not an all-time low. No, it's not. They lie about the numbers. Like I said, in 2020, we was at 21%. 21%, it's a low number, but it's supposed to be even lower than that, 21%. 21%, it still was high in 2020. After COVID, it jumped up another 10%, which brought it to 30%. This is what they're saying. And I don't like the numbers. I don't like the mathematics, because we know and understand that this is all lies. When people hearing numbers like this over here in our country, right, which is the United States, which is the West, able descendants and able lands, they wouldn't want to come here. Tourists wouldn't want to come here. If we had a mental health crisis the way that we do, if they really know the numbers, they wouldn't come here. Would you come to a place where there is 50% of the people are mentally ill and are on drugs and everything else? They got to worry about their life. So, they play with the numbers. They play with the numbers. You understand what I'm saying? And the numbers tell lies. We know and understand that based on his story, not our story, based on his story and based on individuals that's controlling a narrative to say that this is not really going on, but we know that it's going on because we are affected by each and every day. So, it's a bigger plot. What is the bigger plot? What is the plot for you and me? What is the plot? Huh? What is the plot? The plot is massacre. The plot is the massacre. That is the plot, the massacre of our youth, the massacre of our future, the massacre, what we call and what they call themselves, and I don't like this derogatory terminology of them, is the YNs. You understand what I'm saying? You're not YNs. You're not young ninjas or any other of these titles. You are kings and queens. You are the creator, and the creator is you, but with limitation. That's exactly who you are. Brothers and sisters, kings and queens, ladies and gentlemen, prince and princess, all around the world. That's who you are. And I want you to know and understand that. I feel you. I understand that. That's the lingo. I understand that. But your original title are God and Goddess. Right? And that's exactly who you are. So I'm not going to make this a drawn out. If you are in the building, please like and share. Please hit the like button. It's not going to do anything. You understand what I'm saying? I will appreciate that. If you comment in my comments, you see that right there. I don't, I want to engage you. Throw something in the pot, So, I just want to let you know that because this is really, really good information for you, and I really, really appreciate that. So, we all know that these numbers is lies. In 2020, mental health was at 21%. After COVID, it jumped up 10%, it jumped up to 30%. In 2026, it says it's anywhere from 23 to 26%. This is all lies. We know and understand that we are affected by this each and every day. Regular people that have to work, their children are out in the street. There's no programs. There's really nothing that's really going on. They are affected by this mental health crisis that's going on over here in our country that we are called America. You understand what I'm saying? So I want us to understand the format or to what's going on with us. So I really appreciate that you are here with me. Thank you so much. You guys have an amazing, amazing day. May the Creator be with you. May He love you. May He guide your decisions to be on the right path. And also to let you know that you are not alone. This platform can help you uplift your life if you just listen. I know it's difficult and hard, but you can do it. If I did it, you can do it. We have to stop the massacres that's going on. The indigenous descendants massacres that's going on all in our country. And we know that this is a massacre mixed in with the mental health. So you guys have an amazing day. And don't forget that this year is 2026. This year is even balanced so that we can take back our communities. We can take back our loved ones. We can take back our life, which understanding on who you are so you can understand your square, your circle, and get you to the next plateau in life. This is the year of the fist, brothers and sisters. Recognize the fist. Recognize the fist. And you guys have an amazing day. Peace, y'all. Peace.